All right. Now that we've done a couple of introduction with about Ansible, we've been able to install Ansible and also install Terraform with AWS CLI. Let's not take a step forward by looking at how to authenticate with Ansible, right? First off, let's look at some popular terms with Ansible. All right. So give me 1 second. Share my screen. So Ansible has some popular terminologies. Okay. You can see it. Okay. So by the way, I know we are going to talk about this through as we navigate Ansible, right? So inventory. There are two types of inventories in Ansible. We have static inventory and dynamic inventory. And so inventory is just a collection of servers, or call them the remote host that Ansible is managing, right? So let's say if we create one server in the cloud, that becomes an inventory. That one is called a static inventory. So we have to manage the inventory file. Dynamic inventory, the inventory file is automatically updated, okay, or updated each time. Each time something changes in our infrastructure in the cloud, dynamic inventory automatically updates. Okay, that's the difference. Another key term that you need to understand is host. Okay, host. So we are going to refer to inventory and dynamic and static inventory as a remote host. So these are servers that are located in the cloud, and so we refer to them as remote hosts. The server on which Ansible is installed is referred to as the Ansible master controller, and it's also referred to as a local host. Okay. In terms of authentication, we need to understand two things. All right. So a remote desktop protocol for Windows, that's the method, and for Linux is SSH. That's how we are going to authenticate with our remote host, because if the master cannot speak with the remote host, then the master cannot manage the remote host. All right. So very, very important to understand. The second one is, so how then do we authenticate? Before we do this, you want to make sure that at least you have installed Ansible, VS Code, AWS CLI, and Terraform, and also you want to make sure that your AWS keys are also on that Ubuntu server, right? And we are going to use VS Code. So we're going to be opening Ubuntu using VS Code, okay? Terraform, we are going to use Terraform to create this inventory, all right? To create this inventories here. And then to address authentication, we need to create our key pair. All right, our key pair in the cloud. And then we have to export this key pair to the master controller, to Ansible master. And this is going to be in the .sh directory. And then, we create the servers for the remote host, the inventory, and then from there we can test, we can ping, right, to see if everything is up and running as expected. Okay. Okay, so before we do this, the first thing we have to do, of course, is we need to, so we have a repository, right? We have this repository, our repo, this is where our Terraform code lies, right? So we have this. So now, first we are going to what? We are going to open Ubuntu, okay? Open open what? Open setup here, setup, right? So you want to open Ubuntu, okay, via VS Code, okay, VS Code. And then, so that's what we have to do first. That's all we have to do in this particular phase, okay? Do that. Open your Ubuntu via VS Code. And then, secondly, we need to what? We need to create keeper and what? And then we have to save keeper. Save what? Save keeper in what? In .ssh directory. See that? Like that. And then, so this is authentication, okay? And then secondly, we have to what? We have to clone and create inventory. And create what? Inventory. So first of all, you want to what? Clone the repository, clone repo, and then we what? We create our inventory file, and then what? We test connection. Yeah, straightforward, right? Exactly. So now let's get going. First of all, we need to open our VS Code. So this is my VS Code here. And you can see, right? But again, I'm going to open here, come here. I'm going to what? Open using distro, and I'm using this Ubuntu. So in this case, I just wait for it to open up, okay? Okay. So now you can see that now what? I've opened up my Ubuntu using WSL, which is what this is where you want to be, right? And you can confirm Ansible is installed here. I think it's -version. I can just run Ansible, you're going to see, right? See that? Ansible is installed. Okay, great. And then if I run what? If I run Terraform, you're going to see also that Terraform also is installed, right? Perfect. Those two things are installed. So now we can what? We can clone our repository. So git clone. Then you paste. You're going to see week 9 Ansible Terraform. That's cloned. See that? And of course, I'm going to open that. So if I come to folder, I can what? Open folder. See that? This is my week 9 here. And you can see that is our scope. All right, so now there's a couple of things that we can also add here. Okay, so I'm going to go to extensions and, I can kind of enrich. But there's something I want to show you what you're going to need to change. The code is very okay, but there is one thing you need to do, okay? So we have to go to CA Central 1, okay? Like this. Okay, so this is where we are, right? There you go. So if you refresh this, you see this is all gone. That's right. So now let's go to key pairs, right? Central 1 here, key pair, because this code, okay, like that. Wait for it to open up. Okay, but so while this is opening up, let's go to our account. So come back here, you see. So you have to create a key pair. So we're going to what? Let's say I create a key pair here. Let's call this April 2nd, okay? So this is what this is, April 02. See that? Now, I'm doing this because I want you to see what I'm going to do, right? So you see, so now I have my April 2nd key, and I am going to what? I'm going to create a key pair, and you see that it automatically downloads a key file okay, on my system. Look at here. So you see that? So this is my key. So that you know, when you create when anything downloads from the internet, right? It goes to your download folder. So we can open up download folder here. And if you check here, you're going to see this download, right? You see that? So this is my key. Okay, now I'm going to copy the content of this key and I'm going to call it April 02 onto my Ansible master control. So this is authentication we are talking about, okay? So let's say, okay, more options here. We want to open this with, okay, now, you know what, that's fine. Open this key every second, okay? You see, so it opens up automatically with Notepad, okay? Leave it the way it is for now. And then let's go back to our VS Code. Trust and continue. That's all you do. Great. Trust folders on all files. So once you do this, that's it. Okay, you never have it again. So now, if you look at here, right, your variables, see that it says what? Key file default is this. Okay, and of course, we can change this. So the key name, this is what you want to change. Before we do that, so that's the name of the key in your cloud account. So whatever your key name is, change it. So now I'm going to do a search here. This is what? This is September 22nd, right? So I can search here, right? I can search September, okay, 23rd. You see that? So you can see 3 result in 3 files. Now what I want to replace with April 02nd. That's the name of my key, right? And if you come here, I can confirm that. You see that? April what? April 2nd. So what? You are doing what? You are doing this search and replace. So for all of you, your key pair by default is going to be this. You just what? Just replace it. So now you're learning how to perform very simple search and replace, in VS Code. Now you replace, gives you a warning, say yes, replace. Now this is good, okay? Nothing else you have to touch, but there's one more thing we have to do. Now we are supposed to, if you run ls here, .ssh, see that? So we have to seed into .ssh and make sure that, because see, this is why you want to do it, okay? If you look at your inventory file, don't worry about this inventory, you see it's going to update. But what? It says your key file is located in .ssh, and that is the name of the key. So in this case, we have to create a file called this. So come back here again, copy. Now I have to go into SSH. Okay, seed what into .ssh, and then we're going to touch what? Touch that. That's the key name. And then we're going to do GI into April 02nd. Okay, .pem. And now we need to copy the content of this key. See that? Don't copy, just don't copy with mouse, just use Control A and then Control C. See that? And then here, Control V, and then we just save and quit. Now run what? Show mode 400 April 02nd.pem. Okay? There you go. With this, we can go back into week 9. See that? There you go. So you can see, okay. So at this point, this is where we are. Okay, and so now we have this, right? So you want to, so we can look at everything file by file. This is our main.tf file. And you can see, so it's going to create 3 groups of servers for us. It's going to create Red Hat, it's going to create Ubuntu and Amazon Linux. And so it's going to give us 3 inventory groups, okay? So now we can run. Everything looks good to me. Terraform what? Terraform init. See that? There you go. So your Terraform plan is going to fail if you don't update that key name. It's very easy. You search and replace. Okay. Okay, great. So now we run what? Yeah, Terraform. Okay, Terraform. See that Terraform plan. So plan will tell you the number of servers. Oh, sorry. This is what Terraform. Plan. So plan is only going to run if you have already authenticated with your AWS. Okay, so when you run your AWS configure, pass your access keys. Otherwise, you're going to get a permission because like now this Ansible master controller needs to communicate with your cloud, right? So it needs to have that permission. So now you can run Terraform apply. Okay, apply. And there you go. Apply is creating. So what we now, we are now creating our inventory. And in this case, it is a static inventory, okay? So once you open this, it should be good, okay? There you go. Great. The yes, so I can do that. Type yes. So now you see. So in this case, we are automating everything. So we use Terraform to create the servers, but then we are going to use. But now in this case, in the case of Ansible, we refer to what? We are referring to these servers as inventory. You can also refer to it as host. But in this case, they are a remote host. And you're going to see how we are going to use, like that. Okay. Great. So now once it's created, you're going to see this file is going to automatically update. So everything is automated. You see that? Excellent. Okay. Like that. So now if we were to go down here to come to dashboard, see that you can see the number of servers that are creating already. So you can see that now you can see. So now we have 12 servers. This is our inventory, and you can see we have dev, web, and then we have like that. So exactly right, MT1, MT2, MT3. But again, all of these servers are grouped in what we call, you see that. So now these are the servers. We have Amazon Linux. These are all the IPs of the servers. We have Red Hat, and we have Ubuntu. Okay, like that. So now this is 6, and this is 3. This is 3. So altogether is 12 servers. So if you look at our inventory here, you're going to see we have what? We have 12 servers. See that? So this is called an inventory group, okay? Inventory what? Inventory group. And so this is also called what? And what? An inventory group or host group, like that, okay? So now you can see we have that. So now can we check? Okay, so I wouldn't go far, but we have inventory now, and the only thing we can do is to test if we can communicate with all of this inventory. Can we? Let's test if they are online. So you're going to hear about a module in Ansible called ping, right? So we can run a ping, right? So you can say, so now if you run what? Ansible. So we want to ping all the servers or -I inventory dot what? .ini. Okay. And -m, the module is ping. So ping is a module. And in our next class, we'll talk ping a lot, okay? Ansible modules, how we can use modules to manage our remote host. So now, of course, what? So we are testing the connections, okay? You want to see, you want to find out, see that? There you go. So everything is good. It means that you what? So we can now manage these servers because the Ansible master controller can now communicate with all of these hosts. That's what it means. And you're going to see that, say for example, if we say what? Say you decide to add this again to 6, right? To 6 here. You're going to see this one. So this is what? So this is Red Hat. You want 6 Red Hat servers, right, in that inventory group. Again, what? I just come back here. So you're going to see that this file is going to automatically update. See that? So we are seeing that, so this, so this one, okay, this Red Hat. So this is Red Hat here. This is Red Hat, okay. This is Red Hat server. So you're going to see. So this server is going to automatically update to 6. We don't have to touch anything here, okay? So in this case, I run what? I run Terraform again. Terraform plan. Okay. Terraform plan. So once you have this, you are ready to master Ansible as a pro. You need this. It's very, very important. Okay. That you know how to set up your inventory because you can't run Ansible without an inventory. That's the first thing. Okay. So also, of course, it plans to add 4. Now we can just create, okay, Terraform apply. You see that? So you're going to see how we are going to be able to use Ansible, to maybe deploy users in all of these remote servers. It can be 1,000 of them at the same time. We can do that, right? And like that. So Ansible Terraform creates the servers, but Ansible runs the configurations. And you're going to see it's a very, very, very interesting module that we are studying. And you will like it, okay? Yes. Great. So now, see that? Now we have what? Now we have 6. And you can see that this file has now been what? See that? Now we have 6 here in this. Oh yeah, so this is not a new file actually, but now you see that we have what? Now we have 6 over C. See that? So each time we create, okay, the file automatically update. Now we have 6. And again, we can run pink. You want to test if the servers are online, we go to a pink. Okay. You're going to see, we're going to talk about a lot of modules like package modules, user module, file module, command module. You're going to see all of that. All right. So this is good. And again, as usual, you want to clean up. Okay. Telephone what? Destroy. This is the beautiful thing about Ansible platform because one command you can create, one command you can destroy, one command you can configure. Right, destroy. So I keep my cost. Or do you want to check to find out what actually now you have in the cloud? You're going to see that? This is everything we have. So now you can see we have a lot of servers. Now this is our inventory. And we want to be able to manage this inventory. Right, but for now, you know what? I'm just going to destroy this. Come back. Telephone what? Destroy. Yeah, telephone destroy. Yeah, okay. After you clean up. So great. So this is exactly how you do it, and it's pretty much very, I won't say very easy, but it's quite a technical thing to do. But we'll talk about this in class. But you need to set up your environment like this. You can see everything is now destroyed, so we are good to go. Okay, this is how you do it. And once you set this up, you are good. You can always spin up the inventories, work with it, and then you just delete everything and keep your cost under. Okay, great. Sorry, I didn't show you guys my face, but